XJ Talk Show.
It's on.
Now. Hey guys, thanks for joining the XJ Talk Show, brought to you by xjtalk.com. It's a site about Jeep Cherokees and specifically the XJ model from 1984 to 2001, I believe was the year of manufacturers. And getting some reports here of a lot of static. You guys in the chat room, what... is it not sounding right? Anyone? Okay, how's that? Is that any better? Balls of distortion. Okay, how about that? How's that sound? Is that any better? That's interesting. Let me get rid of the music and let's see if we can fix this. It's funny, it's sounding okay to me. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if that cleaned it up any. How's that? Does that sound any better? Yeah, there was head compression on something I was playing with earlier and I forgot to take it off. So is the audio loud enough, or let me bump it up a little bit because it shows it being a little low. All right. Hello. Okay. Now that's where I had it before. Is the audio distorted or... Okay. Okay. How is that? Is that any better? Okay. Hello, test. This is a test. This isn't the actual show. Yeah, hang on. Okay, I'm working with about, I guess a total of about 70 knobs now. So, it may take me a while to get this stuff adjusted right. The new mixer came in today, and well, basically, I went from this mixer, if that's updated yet or not, but I went from using that mixer to this mixer. So, like a fool, I went ahead and started using the new mixer when I probably should have just used the old one. Yeah, it came with a book, not a very good one though. It's a lot of buttons. Well, it's a lot of knobs. I guess there's about 15 buttons. Like this one. This is the mute button. So while I'm talking, I can press. Okay, the sounds like the gain is a little too high. Okay, I dropped it off. How's that? Is it any better? Hello, test. This is a test. So the audio last week sounded better than this week. Is that what you're telling me? Well, that's a shame. I guess it's the new equipment. I just haven't figured out how to use it properly yet. Let me throw this back up here real quick.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Okay, hopefully the audio sounded a little better. I'll try to get it all straightened out before the next show. Okay, so it says I'm seeing better. Low down just a little bit more, like that. Good. So audio sounds better now? Thanks. Let me play that again.
xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
And here's another version of it.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Can you understand that last part on that one?
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Gooder. I like gooder. Okay, guys. Let me. It's Christmas time, so let me throw in this Christmas song from Tom Rapp. It's a song that he wrote and recorded, and I really enjoy it. And we're gonna play it. Well, we were gonna play it. I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Here we go.
Christmas is my favorite time of year. Christmas is my favorite time of year. Everybody knows when it is near. Children yells and jingle bells, give me something no one sells, and fill that cup on up with Christmas cheer. Christmas is the time to celebrate. Throw some more of that turkey on my plate. Don't sit home, don't be alone. Call some friends up on the phone and fill that cup on up with Christmas cheer. I know what I'm gonna go and ask Santa for. I'm gonna get a present just for me. She's cuddly and she's sweet, a girl that I adore. Just put a gorgeous doll under my tree. Christmas is the time to celebrate. Throw some more of that turkey on my plate. Remember that you're not alone. Read some letters from back home and fill that cup on up with Christmas cheer.
That's a really good song by Tom Rapp. Let's go over to tomrappshow.com and download it for free. Let's see if Scott's on the line, or if he freaked out and hung up. Hey, Scott, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, guys. There's Scott. Scott, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great.
Okay. Scott, you're on the show right now. Guys, can you hear him?
Sweet.
PEI.
I can only hear you, Tony.
Yeah, no, I'm reading the chat room. PEI XJ says good. Dalton 4x4 says, hey, Scott. Brian XJ says yes. Hey, Scott.
Oh, well, let me log on so I can read what they're saying, and let's see if I can interact.
Yeah, remember, if you do get logged on, don't have the volume up, because there'll be quite a bit of a delay between what you hear from me and what you hear on the show.
Okay, but I won't be able to hear anybody else, right?
No, they're typing in the chat room. The only people that are actually talking are you and me.
Okay, well, then I'll just watch.
So I was actually going to call. Wayne today, CanTab 27, and there was a Skype outage this morning, and he got up early. I think it was around 5 a.m. his time, and I got up early around 10 a.m. my time. And
wow, that's early, huh?
Yeah, and no Skype. Well, it is when you're off. So no Skype, no Wayne. So we're gonna try to do that later. But well, it's like Brian. Brian says that's early. It's early when you're off. I'm off till January the 4th. I got to go back to work January the 4th. So it's easy to stay in bed. 5 a.m. is early. Oh, I guess that's actually is Wayne's regular time to get up. I think so. Well, Brian, you're supposed to go on vacation around Christmas time. Brian says, I just came off of vacation. I don't know that Wayne sleeps, to be honest with you. He seems to be on the site all the time.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that as well.
So anyway, you recently posted up some stuff about going to the Dana 60 on your XJ experiment. How's that going?
Pretty good. I've got, as you saw in the pictures, I got a set of H2 wheels. I went yesterday and rounded up some steel to do the reinforcements on my trailer to accept the 1-ton axles. So it's kind of a double project for me, beefing up the trailer and beefing up the Jeep.
So when you say to modify the trailer, you're going to make it wider, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of legal concerns about that, or does it matter?
No, there's as long as you stay under 8 foot. Basically the only thing you really have to consider is that the axles I'm getting out of a legal pickup truck anyhow. So you just have to stay within a certain width, of which state laws 8 feet to the outside of your body, and your mirrors can stick past that. That's why H1s are so wide, and they're legal.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Brian XJ was asking, what's your username on XJ Talk? That's my fault, guys. This is XJ4IV. You don't have a fancy way of saying that, do you, Scott?
Nope. IV is my last name, and then XJ that's what I drive.
But of course. Brian says, oh, okay. Were you able to get logged onto the show?
No, but I can read it. I just grabbed your link over on chat.
Right.
So I can read what everybody's writing.
Perfect. So you got the H2 wheels. There was I saw some sort of comment about the wheels would not fit on the specific Dana 60 that you were looking to get.
Well, I got to check into that. I'm going to make a template. I've got a half day at work tomorrow, and I'm going to make a template of the wheel lug pattern to take with me when I go to the junkyard. And I've heard a lot of people say over on Pirate at like 79 model F250s and F350s, the lug pattern fits. I just have to find an older truck.
So it's the lug pattern and not the size of the disc or the drum brake?
No, it has nothing to do with that. As far as somebody saying they had to be 20-inch wheels, I've never seen that, because everybody that I've looked at, the 1-tons that they're running, they only run 17-inch wheels. You can't do a 15-inch wheel because of how big the hub is.
Okay. Did you see Flex XJ95's question? Just curious, why H2 wheels?
I got a great deal on them. I paid $240 with the tires with rubber on them, legal tread.
So how quickly do you think you'll be going to the Dana 60s?
I've got, pretty much I know where I'm getting everything except for my drive shaft setup. I got to figure out if I'm going to go right to a slip yoke eliminator. If I do that, it's going to be probably late March that I'm complete.
Well, it certainly ought to be interesting. I hope you take a lot of pictures.
Oh, I definitely will. You know me. My Jeep might actually be over at Matt's shop. I'm not sure. I haven't really verified with him, but I'm sure he'd be like, yes, please bring it. It'd be interesting to watch. Yeah.
How's the long arm system working from Ironman?
Oh, they're great. I love them. Only drawback right now is my springs aren't long enough. I need limiting straps or something. But when I go with my 1-tons, I'm going to do there's a air bump stop system that cut off the bump stop, the factory bump stop, and then you mount this thing to it. And what it does is it acts like another shock internally, but it doesn't actually absorb shock from your ride. It's just when you push up on the axle, it just goes up with you.
Right. Didn't we see something like that on that JK at the meeting. I can't remember the name of that group that meets.
Yeah, they're air adjustable bump stops. They're kind of expensive, but I think I have a feeling that Andy's doing something along those lines.
Andy is the man behind Ironman.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
4x4 Fab.
But yeah, I think he's kind of working on something like that in stealth mode, not really telling anybody, because he's got those adjustable regular bump stops, and a lot of people have said they want to do these bump stops, but they want them adjustable lengths. And if I can get one that just collapses under air pressure and extends while I'm flexing, still maintains a solid piece all the way down to my spring perch.
I got you. So it's kind of like a shock, but it doesn't really slow down the bouncing. It just, well, in your case, it would keep the spring on.
Right. My spring would stay lined up where it's supposed to be.
Well, it sounds pretty interesting. How's the wife handling all this?
She just pretty much says, you can sell it from your Jeep. Have fun. And actually, I've got a bunch of Jeep parts that are going to be coming up for sale pretty soon. I've got 5 15-inch wheels, the black wheels that I've got, you guys have seen. I've got 2 Super Swamper TSLs, and I have a feeling that Rini might be interested in those, because he just got a set.
I'll tell you what, Rini buys tires like they're going out of style.
Yeah, I know. He's all over the tires.
He's going to start his own tire fire in his backyard.
Oh, good Lord.
I tried to get him on the phone tonight, but he apparently had something else that he was going to be doing and leaving shortly. Actually, he may have already left.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing him on the line. I'm kind of reading, too, and I'm trying to keep up with everybody on there. Are you reading, Tony? Yeah,
I do, but I don't do it as well as one of the Ustream shows that I watch. There's a young lady that does a lot of interaction, and I'm really surprised. She carries on interviews and reads the chat room, and if she sees something that she doesn't like, she's on it like a duck on a June bug.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Multitaskers, I hate them.
Drives me nuts.
So what else?
Keep up.
So what else you got going on?
For right now, it's just I'm focusing on the steering, the Dana 60 upgrade. Keeping my mind open as far as gearing. I'd like to go with at least 488. It's not really going to be a daily driver after I do the axle swap.
Well, what size tires? What size tires are those?
The ones that are on there right now are just equivalent to 33s.
No,
I just wanted tires to get me down the road for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean the ones you just bought.
I haven't bought them yet. Once I get the axles going, I'm going to go ahead and put the ore in. I'm going to get 37 or 38-inch Maxxis Creepy Crawlers. I haven't really decided what size yet, but I want to get them in a 1350 wide.
You get something that tall, you need it wide so it doesn't look so skinny.
Right.
Well, it probably won't hurt you on the rocks either.
Nope.
More traction. 35s on the stock drivetrain kind of sucks. Yes, it does. Yeah, I've got my picture in the picture on the video stream. That's what he's referring to.
Cute. Here, just reading up. I see Dalton. Hey, Dalton. I haven't met XJ. How you doing?
Yeah, he's on XJ Talk. He's a member there. I was talking to him both on here and.
I think he's been on there for a while. I just haven't really seen him.
Right. Well, hopefully this XJ Talk show will generate a little more interest in the site, get people on there, and be more active, which was the whole intent. Have a little fun in the process. So what's up for Christmas? Are you doing anything Jeepy or even non-Jeepy, but is fun?
Let's see here. Getting a new tow rig. The engine blew on my Durango, and I'm like really tired of it. I just put a transmission in about 6 months ago, and about 2 months after that happened, the engine blew, and I'm like, forget it. I'm not wasting any more money on this. I'm just getting out from under it. If somebody wants it, they can have it for $2,800. I'm buying an Expedition from my dad, which I got to go out to California and pick it up, though. And that's pretty much it as far as automotive and Christmas goes. I asked for a few things for that. I want to get some HID lights for it, projector system.
So are you going to be trying to pick up the Expedition during Christmas, or?
What I'm trying to do, if my parents will let me, is I'm going to fly down there on New Year's, probably the 3rd, and then drive back the weekend.
Yeah, that ought to be it ought to be a pretty drive, although very long. You need to get you
I've done it.
You need to get you a CB or something so you'll have something to do.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and bring my dog with me. She's my companion, so you know, Southwest Airlines deals with that. They may not let her go. She's kind of big. She's a black lab. She
should make you stop quite often for bathroom breaks.
Oh no, she's great. She is fantastic. We went to Waco last weekend for about 10 hours actually, and she did just fine. Took her out, and she didn't go pee right away. She went and played around for a minute, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Seems like a dog is always ready to go pee.
Yeah.
PEI XJ says, I got a question for Yuz. I'm thinking of making my own cross member for the transfer case that is not as low than the stock ones. What would be good to use?
If you've got the fabrication skills, Ironman Andy might have a template. I'm not sure. I know he'd sell the cross member. I know the cross member I got from him for my long arms. It's a lower profile than the factory one. It sits a little higher up in there, and it's a lot stronger than the factory one. But if not, I would just use 2x4 square tube and just drill out holes for your T-case mount.
Now, I think Andy was telling me, again, Ironman 4x4 fab.com, Andy was telling me that the cross member that he was making to go along with his long arms, which is what you have, I guess what you have is technically the prototype. It incorporates a transfer case drop in it. Is that correct?
I did notice it did drop down a little bit. The where the transfer case actually mounts to the cross member is flush with the bottom of the frame. So it did lower it about maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, but not a whole lot.
Well, the transfer case drop that I got with my my lift kit was 1 inch. I mean, all it is 1 inch rubber spacers. So it drops
right.
the cross member down an inch. So if that transfer case, if the transfer case is dropped 3/4 of an inch, then it's almost identical to the what I've got, but it has affords a little more protection than what mine did. I don't care for that drop because it's a cross member drop down an inch, so it can catch on more things.
Yeah, to me, it's sad to say, but to me, lowering a transfer case, it puts a little bit stronger bind on your motor mounts, and It also kind of defeats the purpose of having a lift.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why I need to get a slip yoke eliminator kit so I can do away with that. That's
actually what I'm focusing on when I do the 1-ton upgrades. Guys, if you guys are worried about driveline vibrations, cheapest way to get around it without having to drop your transfer case, go to 4-wheel parts. If you really wheel your Jeep like rocks and such, get steel 4-degree shims. You can basically, the rule of thumb is on shims, anything over 4 inches, what you want to get is the degree of shim for however many inches of lift you have. I got a 4-degree shim for my 4.5-inch lift. Now, I'm a little higher now, but since I'm doing this 1-ton upgrade, I can actually alter everything to make the driveline angles pretty good. But you can go to 4-wheel parts or pretty much any 4-wheel drive supplier and buy, probably over the counter, you can get shims, and they're pretty easy to install. But that's the best thing to do. I've done it. I drive my Jeep every day to work, and I drive all over the Houston area. Today, my Jeep hit 87 miles an hour, and that's when it started vibrating. And 87 is not a normal speed for a 6.5-inch XJ. So
you must have been on the Beltway.
Yes, I was.
Because I think 87 is the unofficial speed limit, and people start throwing things at you or firing warning shots if you go slower than that.
Yeah. I was just trying to keep up with everybody on the Beltway.
Man, I wish I recently went to General Sam's, and I went up there with XJ Rat, and we went in his 98 Jeep Cherokee, which I have a picture of it on the show right now. went up there went up there with him, and I was constantly looking over. He's driving down the road 60, 65 miles an hour, and he's on a 4.5 or 3.5 inch lift, and he had 32-inch tires. And I keep looking over at his temperature indicator, and the thing would never get above 210. I just really envied that. I would like to be able to go places on the highway with mine, but it runs hot, and I've got to figure that out.
Well, I'll tell you this much. The other day when I picked up the H2 tires, I didn't really think it through very well, and I had to reinforce my rear bumper receiver because it's only tied into the factory mounts. So I have a receiver on the front, and I put my hitch basket on the front, and I put 2 of the tires up there. I was down near Hobby Airport, which is about 40 miles from where I live, and I started heading back, and didn't really think about it. Hit the freeway, and boom, it started overheating. I was like, oh, duh. I've got 2 33-inch tires sit right in front of my radiator. And took them off. I put one more in the back seat and put one more on top and strapped it down. Headed back home and stayed on the highway for, another 27, almost 30 miles. And I never hit 210.
Yeah,
So,
I wish my answer was that simple. I don't have any tires on the front of my radiator.
I know, but you got those lights. But I'm telling you, I did notice a huge difference when I took out that mechanical fan. And literally all I did from when I had your problem to when it was resolved, I took out that mechanical fan and I popped in another electric fan that I got out of a Taurus. Now, I screwed up and got the wrong one. I got a later model Taurus. So it doesn't have near the CFM that everybody talks about with, get the Taurus one from this year. Part numbers, the middle part number is the same. It's the prefix and the suffix of the part number that are different. I'm not sure what they are for that specific Taurus that we're so sought after, but mine, like all day mine, back and forth on the Beltway, pushing 75, 80 miles an hour, it would stay just above the first line between 0 and 210. Right.
Well, keep in mind, I know that it logically, and XJ Rat and I, Glenn, had the same conversation going up to Huntsville, the General Sam's. The lights, the bumper, the winch, all that stuff wasn't there when this problem first started happening. The problem first started happening after I put the lift kit on and the larger tires. That's when it would run hot on the freeway. And it's gotten better.
Say this might be the factor. When your Jeep was sitting lower to the ground, it created more of a vacuum because you had lower ground clearance.
Right.
So it would be sucking air through the radiator, through the fan, and then back underneath your car.
Right. And that was
now
the thing.
Now that you're up higher, there's not quite as much of a vacuum. It's kind of like sucking through a straw, like a little stir straw, and then going to sucking through like a McDonald's straw.
Right.
How big the difference is.
That was one of the thoughts as far as when Matt and I were talking on the chat on XJ Talk about. I was talking to him about putting an air dam or a baffle or something underneath there so that it would make it more. It would force the air to go through the radiator instead of around. That bumper has such a great approach angle on it. It made the whole Jeep very narrow on the front. So I don't know. I've tried everything that I can think of on the cooling system as far as changing out the radiator, the water pump, the high flow thermostat, etc. And it does exceedingly well at low speed. Crawling around, climbing stuff off road, does great. On the highway, it doesn't overheat, but it does run hot, and I just don't want to have that heat build up because I know it's going to get to me after a while. It's going to mess up the engine. It's going to mess up more than likely the transmission. So yeah. I just don't want to run the risk. Well, I see Big Jim 350's in there now.
Where's he at? Where is he? What's up, Jim?
Big Jim.
The PEI?
Trapdog has joined us. Trapdog, you probably don't know. He's a friend of mine that wrote a great Christmas song, and we played that earlier.
Oh.
He wrote and played it, recorded it.
Cool. Oh, there's Rugged One.
Let's see. Hey, Jim. Dalton says, hey, Jim, y'all still heading up this way. Yeah, Jim,
right.
I was talking to Wayne the other night on Skype when it was working, and Wayne said Wayne told me that Big Jim and Renee are planning a trip to New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, I heard them thinking they were joking about it, but apparently Wayne's getting a room ready or something for him.
Sweet. Yeah, Wayne told me, hey, anytime you're in town, I'm like, yeah, I'll just shoot on over in New Zealand.
That's whenever you need some teleport capabilities. That would be a long drive.
I couldn't wheel my Jeep in New Zealand because the price of parts out there is ridiculous.
Oh boy, you're not kidding.
Yeah, if I break a wheel bearing, it's $130 here at the most. It's probably $285 out there because they don't have anything there. Everything's got to be imported.
Man, I just we don't realize what we got. Big Jim says, "Yep, gonna head over to New Zealand next November." Is Renee going with you? Waiting for Jim to type.
Get a rental there. Rent the Rubicon. Tell them you want a Rubicon mail truck, so it'll be left-hand drive. Yeah,
it might be kind of hard to get a rental. What are you hoping to rent over there, Jim? I know it won't be a Jeep Cherokee.
A Taurus.
Not unless he rents it from Wayne. Land Cruiser.
Oh, a Land Cruiser.
That makes sense.
I'd cruise that. I like Land Cruisers too, but I don't know. I've seen videos of what they're capable of, and it's like, but who drops $100,000 on a nice-looking vehicle and will take it through mud, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot deep when there's no lift on it? I mean, it's understandable on an H1 because H1s look rugged. They look like they belong there. But a Land Cruiser, not so much.
Right. Yeah, Land Cruisers, they all look like they're, here in the States, they cost more because they're imported. And you see a Land Cruiser or a Range Rover, it's like, ooh, money. That somebody just cruising around. That's something that would never be taken off road. That's like, a double Hummer.
Yeah. Now, I have a video on VHS. I'll let you borrow it and see if you can find a way to get that transferred over to digital or whatever, that we can put it up on XJ Talk or YouTube or whatever. But it shows probably a 25-minute clip on how Land Rovers work off-road. They've got like a hill assist, ascension assist, and all this stuff, and basically it's like ABS for going down a muddy hill. Mm-hmm. And they said if you lock up the wheels going down a hill in the mud, it'll automatically start rolling the tires for you. You don't even have to do anything but steer. And I was pretty shocked by that. I actually watched them do it. Yeah,
I think that's is it the Toyota is the current Toyota what is that thing, a FJ, what's it called, like that $40,000 one that the guy put the big scrape
the FJ40 or FJ Cruiser.
I think I don't know if that one had but I think they have something similar to that, a locking system, so when the tire starts to spin, the brake actually applies.
And I don't know if anybody's ever actually looked at those FJs at the Toyota dealer, like brand new. They got about 6 different major add-on components for those FJs. We're talking like front and rear lockers, like good lockers. They also have the computerized stability control for off-road. They have air ride suspension, just like the Range Rovers have, where it's totally adjustable. You can go high and low. Mm-hmm. And then they have one kit that's already, the FJ is already lifted, I think 3 inches with 35 or 36-inch tires under it. And I didn't realize there was so much on there. I thought it was like you get a 4x4 or you don't.
Sounds like you can spend a bunch of money.
Oh, yeah. There was one out there for $52,000.
That's not as much as what I thought it would cost.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. But, I mean, it's kind of like Toyota. Toyota's been in the four-wheel drive industry for so long. They're kind of like, yeah, we dominate. We can do this. And nobody really questions it. It's kind of like a Honda and dependability.
Right.
People are like, oh, I know I can put $200,000-$300,000 on a Honda before it needs major work.
That's true. And although I don't like seeing the U.S. auto market suffer, I'm kind of glad that somebody came along and said, look, this is how you can make vehicles and make them last. And I'm really tickled with my Jeep. And I understand that the Cherokee, even though it's an American-made product, it does have several pieces in it that are not American-made, specifically the transmission.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
is it made in Mexico?
Well, I thought it was a maybe I'm mistaken on this. I thought the transmission, the AW4, is a Toyota design.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm sure somebody on here will chime in and let us know.
Guys, where's the AW4 from? I don't think it's a Jeep Chrysler product. I think they buy it from somebody. Brian at XJ had to go because he has to go work third shift. But I talked to him the other day on Skype. He says he loves it.
Third shift?
Third shift.
No thanks.
Graveyards.
Big Jim, it's Asen Warner?
Yes.
That's American.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe I was mispronouncing the Asen being Asian.
No, yeah, there's no N. It's just it's A-I-S-I, no, sorry, A-S-I-N, Warner.
Yeah, I thought that was a Toyota, designed transmission.
Because I had, my first 4x4 was a Samurai. Get this, guys, it was a mail truck lookalike. It was a hardtop, non-removable hardtop.
Anything's removable.
White. Yeah, there it is, Dalton. A-I-S-I-N.
There you go.
That's what it is. It had lockout hubs on it that were made by Asen. And I talked to a buddy of mine. I said, hey, are these any good, or should I get worn? And like I said, this was my first 4x4. And he even said, he goes, those are just as good as worn. So he said, don't get rid of those.
Well, I've been very impressed with the Jeep. I mean, I think I may have mentioned on a previous show that at 100K miles, I was thinking about putting all these modifications on my Jeep, and I was a little concerned that it was near its end of life. And a guy at my old job actually told me that, oh no, those things routinely do 200 and 300,000 miles. Yep.
I'll put it to you this way. I've had 3 XJs. My first one was an 88, and when I got rear-ended by a Tahoe with a ranch hand bumper, it had 338,000 miles on the original engine, the original transmission. And my Jeep was the only car. There was 3 cars involved in the wreck. My Jeep was the only one that was able to drive away. My second one was another 88. It had 290,000 miles on it, and I ended up tearing down the engine. They had a little rod knock because the guy before me didn't take care of it. I actually bought it for $600 knowing that it was needing some work. I ended up not finishing it and selling it for the same $600 I bought it for, so I was like, whatever. And then this one I've got the speedometer. I think the speedometer cable got caught up on the exhaust, and it hasn't worked in about 4 months. Right now it's showing 235,000 miles on it. So I should probably be around 200 and maybe almost 250.
That's a lot of miles.
They last a long time. And I know this, ever since I've got it, they've been rough, hard miles.
Okay, I looked up something here on the Asen Warner.
What did you call me?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it was a question. AW4 transmission. How do you pronounce that? A-I-S-N, Asen?
I just say Asen, yeah.
The Asen Warner AW4 transmission is an automatic shift 4-speed overdrive transmission used in the 1987 to 2001 Jeep XJ Cherokee and MJ Cherokee models. Skipping down a bit, the AW4 is predominantly found behind the AMC 4.0-liter 242 CI i6 engine. The AW4 was also used behind the AMC 2.5 4-cylinder. A similar transmission is used in some Toyota rear-wheel drive applications, known as the A340. So I don't know what similar means. I don't know if it means it looks alike, or it is, or if Toyota bought the transmission and was using, bought a similar model from Asen Warner. But anyway, I think that's probably where I got my my feel that it was a Toyota transmission. Maybe not.
Don't know. Well, I know my Suzuki had those hubs, and I never really crawled under it to see what the transmission looked like. But I bet you I could fit it in my pocket. I know that much. And now I wouldn't mind getting another one of those soft top and just hacking it to pieces and enjoying a topless that I could, roll it down the road and then roll it down the rock.
Well, I sure do like what Dan did. Yeah, I don't think you were there at the Sonic that time. We had a Jeep meet and greet here in Houston, and Rini works with a gentleman by the name of Dan, and Dan had a 2001.
I've been out there a couple times.
Okay. Dan had a 2001 XJ that he cut the top off of, and he showed up there one day, and that was almost enough, not for me to cut up my Jeep that I have now, but almost enough to make me want to get another one and do the same thing.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And he did it all with a little Harbor Freight bender and a little 140 amp welder. And it looks great. It looks great. It just, he took the time that it needed to do it right. And I said, hey, how much would it cost to do another one? I said, I got deep pockets. He said, not deep enough. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I imagine there was quite a bit of little frustration doing all that. I mean, I would think that it would be a lot easier the second, third, fourth time, but yeah, I understand. Putting things together and getting them working is a frustrating, very frustrating thing. It's rewarding, but I understand not wanting to go down that path again.
Yeah, I've got some pipe bent for my XO cage, but I ran into a stopping point when I realized I don't have a pipe notcher, so I need to get me a drill press and a pipe notching kit. I've got the pipe bender, and Big Jim gave me a welder. Speaking of which, Big Jim, I think there's another wire missing inside of that thing. I put a new liner in it the other day, and that part's working good, got the trigger fixed, but I hooked it all up, and I realized there's a ground wire inside missing. So I gotta take a look at another weld pack and see exactly where it goes to. But I'm ready to get some stuff going on this Jeep.
Well, guys, do you have any comments or questions to make on this, or have we about exhausted this line of conversation? We need
Anybody have any questions?
We need little icons so we can tell when people are sleeping or not.
All right, bunch of Z's.
Well,
okay.
Big
I'll
Jim,
check that out, Jim.
Big Jim says a welding supply store should give you a schematic. Hey, Scott, how long do you think the swap will take? I'm reading these questions for the podcast that people can just listen to. They won't have the ability to read the chat, so that's why I'm interrupting you.
Hard part's gathering the material, but once I have everything in a garage, if I'm not interrupted by a spouse or anything else, I think start to finish, just by myself, I could probably do the whole swap in a day. I work pretty diligent on these things, provided I don't run into any major mishaps. Now, I do know this. When I get my axles, I'm going to shave them down all the way bare, then take my measurements, and I'm going to tack weld all my brackets in place and take them down to a local place called Javier's Off-Road, and I'm going to have Dave out there weld everything up to the axle perfectly. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to tack everything because I want the degrees set up on my angles for my drive lines. But once that's done and all I have to do is unbolt the old axles and bolt in the new ones and everything, I could definitely do it in one day.
I didn't even
Hey, Wayne's here.
Well, I need to update my list because I didn't see him. I was just getting ready to say, I don't think... Yeah, he is. Hey, Wayne. You know, Skype
Howdy,
is... Wayne. I'm sorry, Wayne is Cantab 27 from XJ Talk, and that's what he's logged on here under Cantab 27 on Ustream. And Wayne, the Skype is still down. I found out that they had an outage today, and apparently it's been an all-day thing. I get the feeling that a lot of people are off, and they're using Skype to call people, relatives across the country and perhaps in other countries. So anyway, we'll get that interview down. I was kind of hoping we would be able to get that and play it for this show, but yeah, pay the bills. Skype is free, Wayne.
Dalton asked, it said not so bad, so for a regular non-Uber human, say about 2 days. The only issues I ever run into, which like pretty much every single time, so I never put a time frame. I never promise a time frame on doing major work. You're going to have a bolt that doesn't come out. You're going to have something that doesn't fit. I try to take those things into consideration. When I did my leaf springs with the new adjustable shackles, everything went perfect except for one thing. I broke a weld inside my rear leaf spring shackles, and that's a pain in the butt. Other than that, everything went in and out perfectly fine. And that one weld added another hour and a half to the job. So provided everything goes good, pulling an axle out and popping in the new one, it's just a matter of unbolting and rebolting. Once you get all the dimensions set up, it should be just like taking that axle out and putting it back in.
How did you get to that that weld broke, how did you get to that? Was that something you had to cut a hole in the floorboard of the cargo area, or?
No. It's inside of the box frame thing that.
Right.
Okay, everybody puts in quotations the frame. So my bumper, I just notched out behind I took my bumper off and notched out behind it where you can see inside the frame rail, and you can actually see to the nut. And basically all I did was just booger weld the heck out of it until it held. And then I took an impact on it and removed it. I threaded it back on there just a hair, and then I hammered it through so I could break that old one out and put a new one in.
What about the opening to the unibody? Did you close that back up?
No. The access hole?
Yes.
The access hole was just for cosmetics from Jeep.
I thought you made it.
A lot of times places open it up anyhow so they can reinforce their bumper. And actually that's what's on the chopping block for tomorrow. I got some angle iron I'm going to go hack up and bend and weld up to reinforce my rear bumper and get my receiver hitch going again. Right.
Well, from when I put on the bumper from detours.com, that rear bumper, Mark just sent a couple of small pieces of, I guess that was 1/4 inch thick metal, and it was basically a little L bracket. So the bumper bolted to that L, the small portion of the L bend, and the longer portion of the L bolted to the unibody, right there where the nut strip is for the, what am I trying to say, the trailer hitch. Yeah, the receiver.
Now, I sold my receiver hitch a year and a half ago when my friend made this bumper for me, and I asked him, I said, is this bumper going to hold up pretty good? I got a trailer I'm going to tow around with the Jeep, but all I ever going to put on it is like camping gear and some tires. He said, yeah, that'll hold. Well, it held for a while, and I'm starting to notice some stress cracks from the mounts, and
that's not good.
I don't want to hurt it too much. I want to be able to at least pull my car hauler trailer with it empty just to move it around. So I just want to get it rocking.
I can't remember if it's JCR, but somebody actually sells nut strips that you could actually probably attach to. I mean, you can make your own. It's not that big a deal, but
that's what I'm doing with the angle iron. I'm just going to run the channel all the way down on the inside, and then another one on the outside, and just bolt through it. I'm going to tack weld the bolts on the inside part, and it's all that portion of it will be bolted to my bumper, so it's still removable.
Well, anything that you can get parallel to the unibody is going to make it a lot stronger.
Yeah.
If nothing else, your unibody will fail before the bumper comes off.
Yep.
Well, Scott, we're getting towards the end of the show, and I got a couple of things I'm going to cover before the 4 minutes is up and the show ends. So I really want to thank you for being here tonight. You've been on the phone for 45 minutes and gave us a lot of great information, and it was good not to have a lot of dead air, because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Was hoping to have that interview with Wayne. So hopefully you'll be available again. I think, like I said, I found it very interesting, and hopefully everybody else did, and found it had some useful information distributed to them.
Cool.
So thanks a lot, Scott.
I'll tell you this much. Anytime you say Jeep, I got enough to say.
Well, we all do. I'm still learning, but I've read quite a bit and seem to retain some of it. Scott, you guys, you and your family have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll be chatting with you on xjtalk.com.
All right. Take it easy, Tony, and you guys have fun out there wherever you are. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay, guys. I want to throw in, we maybe run a little over here, but we played Tom Rapp's song earlier, Trapdog, here in the chat room. We played his song earlier, but it's Christmas, so I think we ought to, have at least one more playing of that. So let's try this. Let's try the sound levels check again for this music. You guys let me know how it sounds.
Christmas is my favorite time of year. Christmas is my favorite time of year. Everybody knows when it is near. Children yells and jingle bells give me cheer. Christmas is the time to celebrate. Throw some more of that turkey on my plate. Don't sit home, don't be alone. Call some friends up on the phone and fill that cup on up with Christmas cheer. I know what I'm gonna go and ask Santa for. I'm gonna get a present just for me. She's cuddly and she's sweet, a girl that I adore. Just put a gorgeous doll under my tree. Christmas is the time to celebrate. Throw some more of that turkey on my plate. Remember that you're not alone. Read some letters from back home and fill that cup on up with Christmas cheer.
xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
And before I forget, Dalton, 4x4 Dalton, called the voicemail and left us all a nice message.
Hey, it's 4x4 Dalton. I'm just calling to tell everybody I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Dalton, and thank you for calling into the voicemail. We're a little over, and I just want to tell everybody, of course, Christmas is the next big thing that's going to be happening, and want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. I'm very happy that you guys could make it to the show, and sorry about the sound levels. As I said earlier in the show, I probably should have waited on using the new equipment, seeing as how the show was tonight. I mean, the equipment was literally delivered about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I just, the dog was barking. I didn't expect it to be here till tomorrow. And being the big kid that I am, I had to go and take it out of the box and start installing all of it. And, of course, it's completely different. And, as I showed earlier, here's the one I was using before. Not as many knobs, not as many things to mess up. And this is the one that I installed today, and the one I'm using right now. So it sounds good to me when I was recording it locally, but I really had no way of testing it on Ustream. Yeah, toys. Yeah, it's it's a lot of fun. I've got a bunch of cables coming in because I got the telephone hooked up today so we could talk to Scott on the phone. I've got some more cables coming in so that I can have Skype hooked up, and I should be able to have calls from people from Skype. I should be able to have calls from people on the landline, and also to be able to call people on their cell phones. So we might actually be able to get some conversations, or at least some interviews of people on site, maybe at events, like similar to what I was at General Sam's. Anyway, we're about 3 minutes over. Thank you very much. If you're not a member of xjtalk.com, please think about joining. We have conversations like what we had today, and it's a variety of subjects, not just about Jeeps. That's just our primary focus. It's xjtalk.com, and membership is free. We've got about 1,500 people that have joined the site so far, and I have a lot of fun on the site. Everybody have a very Merry Christmas, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. Thanks again, guys.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for dish wipes. If you are or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
July is National Baked Bean Month. Excuse me. Yes, a month in which we pay tribute to one of America's favorite, most healthful, and nutritious foods. I'm terribly sorry. As I was saying, good Lord, this is terribly embarrassing. I'm so... Whoa, doggy! I guess I'd better wrap this up quick. Basically, Jesus, whoa! Oh, God! Oh, my God!
Baked beans. They're nature's way of saying, for God's sake, open a window. Sorry.